Hey, everybody. I'm so sorry that I can't be there today, but welcome to the third floor of Community Hospital. So I want to talk a little bit about our process and really how our group got started. My group proposal was very vague, and it was intentionally vague. As I considered this project, aligning it with the individual values of each person in our group felt important. And as a social worker, as a professor, engaging in teaching learning experiences are really important to me. So I wanted to create a project where each member of our group's voices could be heard from the onset of the project. And really that began with planning. And since I'm not there today, my group can give some extra honest feedback about whether or not we achieved that. So our prompt started with a question for all of us. How do you want to use your voice, your story to impact climate change? The plan was to develop a project that could promote resilience and hope while holding space for the challenges and the emotions related to addressing climate change. This was really broad, and it took our group some time to come together or form before we could develop a clear sense of direction. But once we had that direction, we accomplished so much, and we accomplished it so efficiently. So really our first meeting was all about forming and brainstorming. And a few aha moments really came from Jen's in-class prompt related to discussing the first time you remember being impacted by climate change. And we also spent some time talking about why discussing climate change is so hard, even with like-minded and trusted people. And I think these two ideas really grew into cupcakes and climate change. So as we continued brainstorming, we started thinking, what are our goals and intentions? And we identified those as creating a safe space for people to discuss climate change, holding space for individual stories, and promoting resilience and hope through storytelling. We identified some challenges that we wanted to address. And so some of those challenges were really identifying and noting that finding a climate community can be difficult, that it can be hard to bring up this topic in everyday life, and that everyone is impacted by climate change in different ways. We then worked on identifying our audience. We thought about this, we brainstormed this a lot. We thought about narrowing that to the campus community, what specific groups of students might be interested in participating in something like this. And then we were also interested in the intergenerational aspect. We also discussed how we wanted to share our stories. Some ideas that we had were podcasts, photo voice, presentations, student support groups, using technology, not using technology. So figuring out all of those things. So Isabel is going to talk a bit more about how we moved from brainstorming into planning. Thank you.